about me disagreeing with his action, and I would call it whack to his face, and we can blaze and chill and talk and, you know what I mean, do whatever.
Yeah, no doubt. Give us a ride, man. I mean, we out there. Nah, man, but you tuned into the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast with your brother Old God and SamAnt going in today, man. Now, Will Smith and Martin was on the Breakfast Club today. They were doing a whole bunch of little interviews, man. I guess they got a little campaign, you know, in anticipation for Bad Boys 3.
Yep.
And Will Smith was asked about Jada Pinkett and Tupac, and I'm gonna play the clip what he said, and we're gonna get right to it. Here we go.
The one that you don't have to business asking. That ain't none of your business. No, I just wondered, were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac? Oh fuck yeah. Oh my god, that dude. And you know, that was in the early days. Yeah. That was in the early days, and it was like that was a big regret for me too, because I could never open up to interact with Pop, you know, and because we had a little bit of a thing, right? Because you know, they grew up together, and you know, they loved each other, but they never had that, you know, they never had a sexual relationship, but they had come into that age where now that was a possibility, and then Jada was with me, you know, so. You know, Pac had a little thing on that, but she just loved him like he was the image of perfection. But she was with the Fresh Prince, you know. So it was like I never could, like, even we were in the room together a couple times. I couldn't speak to him, you know, and you know he wasn't going to speak to me if I wasn't going to speak to him. Right? Really? It's like y'all have so much in common. No, that's what Jada would say all the time. She was like, "I'm telling you, y'all are so similar. You will love him." And I just never, you know, that was a huge regret of mine. I couldn't handle it, you know. I was just.
So that's it, SamAnt, right there. What do you think when you hear that, man? It was definitely kind of shocking to me to hear that. What's your thoughts when you heard that?
First and foremost, I think it's real dope to have two of our icons, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, out here promoting the Bad Boys 3, been able to kind of give us a inside look that we never seen before, answer questions that we didn't know, little things. It's real dope to see. That was some real shit. I mean, a lot of men don't like admitting certain insecurities that they may have within themselves. And you talk about somebody that was on absolute top of their game, the Fresh Prince movie started getting popping around the time he started getting with Jada, and it was everything was popping. But then you got this force in Pac, and it kind of like we were kind of talking. I think this weekend we talk about lions. Remember the lion conversation we had? And you have two, like, I mean, you just have alpha males, and they're gonna strut their stuff in front of you, but behind the scenes they're gonna look at their insecurities and go, damn, if my woman. And then you look at your woman, somebody that you fresh in. Jada Pinkett's a beautiful woman. Obviously you two are right there in the public scene, and her public affection and public love for Pac is there. It's obviously going to cause some insecurity and things. I'm not surprised, but shout out to him for being real about it. I think that's why a lot of people rock with Will Smith, and a lot of people, you know what I mean, appreciate and respect what he does, because he's real honest and candid like that.
It surprised me though a little bit.
Did it?
Yeah, and in a way where it's like, damn, you couldn't even like go to balls to speak to dude, not in a disrespectful way. I'm not saying this to Will, but it's just like, you know, but you do sometimes you have those people who are just, you know, illuminated, they bright lights, and you know, everybody, men and women alike, is just, you know, glued to these people. So it definitely shocked me that Will Smith, you know, at the time wasn't able to, you know, talk to this dude at least, you know what I'm saying? But you know, we all seen it back in the day. They came up together and probably would have ended up with Pop, you know what I mean? And, but you know, at the time she was with Will Smith, but they maintained a relationship. He admitted it, but most dudes have probably been hating, you know, talking about, oh, man, I don't want you around that nigga no more, and just that and the third, and just, you know, just being scared somebody was gonna pipe down their bitch. But you know, you can't live life like that, man.
It's just, you know, what's the unfortunate thing, that he's not alive, because that fence would have been mended. You know, they would have been cool. Yeah. Eventually, because as we grow and as we evolve, that kind of shit would have been like, they would have talked about that and they would have been cool. I think Biggie and Pac would have talked about it and been cool. And that's just the thing, that all we could do is assume, and that's why it's dope to hear these stories, because. And I thought that Charlamagne asked some real weird and questionable questions, and we'll get to another question in a minute. But I thought that was kind of one of the questions that I would never thought about, but it was a good question to hear Will's thoughts on that, because I never even thought about it. I think in that aspect, it surprised me to get that response, because I never even kind of put the two together and said, "Damn, how did Will feel about that?" And
Yeah,
was
Will,
him and Pac cool? I never thought about that.
I really, I really like the way he thinks, man. Even when he was kind of talking about his relationship with Jada and how they kind of, I don't know if they have like an open type relationship, but he pretty much was saying like it was nothing she could ever do that would make me leave her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You ain't hear the whole thing, but
nah.
It was real dope, man, because they came to I guess agreement that they would pretty much, just be open with each other, whatever they wanted to do, and stick together as a result of that. So I think that was real dope. And Charlamagne was trying to get to the point, but Will Smith didn't let him. Like, yo, would you let her? Did she fucking another dude? You fucking? He was about to go there, but Will Smith kind of called him out. Said, "Don't even ask that."
Word.
Yeah, you'll see when you listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm glad. And you got two people up there seasoned like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. They ain't gonna go for the okie doke.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean,
right. But things happen, like in marriages and whatnot. They've been together for 15, 20 years. Like sometimes slip ups happen. You know what I mean? If that's the girl for you and whatnot, and she's willing to forgive you. I couldn't forgive a chick, to be honest with you. There's too many of them out here. You know what I mean? But if she forgive you, move on.
We're all human beings, man. We all make mistakes. Shout out to Will Smith for letting us in, you know what I mean, a little bit, and we appreciate the honesty. Yeah,
now another portion, Sam, man, Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence was on there, obviously, and he was asked about some of his roles that he did earlier on when he played Shanae, and he did those characters on Martin. And here's his response.
What you think about giving him his own show? So Chris was like, "All right, we'll try it out." So I was like, just like that.
That sounds really simple.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. He said, "I'll try it out." I was like, "Oh shit." Rest was history.
Wow. And that was big back then, especially for a black man. Yeah. For the kind of show it was. Yeah. For you to be a hip hop dude doing the show.
And they said right away that show had good ratings.
Yeah. And I did all them characters because I really wanted the show to work, and I didn't want it to fail. So I just started doing all these characters to try to push it. I was
wanted to ask you, Martin, we live in this era of like pause and rappers saying no homo. When you was doing Shanae and you was doing scenes like all the did you ever get backlash back then from your people? Because nowadays if a guy did that, he'd be like, pause. You know what I mean? Yeah. Back then it was just funny to us.
It's just funny.
Did you even think about it at all, or you just like, nah, I just want to make people laugh?
I just want to make people laugh. That was it. With each character, that was it.
Martin did Will.
So pretty much Charlamagne the God asking him, did he get any backlash? And he was kind of, I think, inching to the question about Shanae. Did you ever get any backlash? Because it's been a lot of black actors that have wore the dress and have played women, and they have been getting a lot of backlash. More so recently, but Martin, kind of ducked and dodged the question and said, "Nah, I was just doing it." Look a little scared to me, like he was waiting for that next question. But that's my opinion. But Martin, pretty much said no, he was just doing it to make people laugh. Saying, man, do you take issue with the fact that Charlamagne didn't follow up more with that question? How do you feel about that aspect?
I think that it would have been a good question that people will want to hear.
Oh yeah,
and I think that he kind of danced around the question by asking him with the pause and the.
Trying to give him a way out a little bit.
Yeah, that ain't the question you want to ask. I think Martin initially kind of jump-started the conversation by going into the characters. I don't know if he went into the characters kind of to get ahead of it, and I was kind of writing down the characters that he played on Martin, and he only played 2 women characters. It was Shanae and it was his mom. Then he played Dragonfly Jones, Otis, Jerome, Roscoe. Yeah, it was just 2. I mean, not to say that it was a lot. I'm just saying in comparison, like, all right, 5 out of the 7 characters were all women. Whoa. And I'm not giving any excuse for it either. Right. He said that he did it to kind of change the show. I would have asked him, okay, so did any producers put any pressure on you? Did anybody tell you that this was a good idea to go more so this route than this route? Because he went along the lines, Charlamagne asked him about sitting with Kid at the time when Kid won the competition, and Shanae had to Shanae won the competition. She got a night with Kid, and that's obviously a grown-ass man sitting there on a grown-ass man. How did you feel about that? He never asked did any producers push or how certain things that you would go, okay, are there agendas in Hollywood